I've been thinking about this. There's something that's been going on for centuries. At one point, we had all of these great conquerors. Alexander the Great, Catherine the Great, and Peter the Great, and Genghis Khan, Attila the Hun, Julius Caesar. He kicked some serious ass. Alexander the Great. He was a king of the ancient Greek kingdom of Macedon. He was also known as Alexander III of Macedon. He was a mere 20 years old when he ascended the throne. Now, why was he so young? Because his daddy, Philip, was murdered. And he was 20, and he took over. He reigned from 336 to 323 BC. Now, what made this dude so great? By the age of 30, he had one of the largest empires ever. It covered Greece to northwestern India. He never lost a battle, despite being outnumbered. Anyway, here's a little bit of trivia. The famous Greek philosopher Aristotle tutored Alexander until the age of 16. It was under Aristotle's tutelage that Alexander absolutely fell in love with the works of Homer, namely the Iliad, and he could quote Euripides from memory. Alexander founded more than 20 cities, the most famous being the city of Alexandria in Egypt. He is famous for his undoing of the Gordian knot. The cutting of the Gordian knot is an ancient Greek legend that involves a complicated knot that tied an ox cart. Whoever could untie the knot would be destined to rule all of Asia. Alexander in 333 BC was challenged to untie it. And instead of actually going through, all the steps of trying to untie this thing, he just took his sword and he chopped it. A direct, rule-bending, simple solution and an absolute stroke of genius. One of the not-so-great moments in Alexander's life was when he killed a man who had actually saved his life. Clytus the Black was killed by Alexander during a drunken brawl after Clytus accused Alexander of forgetting the Macedonian ways and instead engaging in a corrupt Oriental lifestyle. So here's what I have to say. Oh, Alexander the Great! Everybody wants to be him! Well, he killed someone who actually saved his life! Doesn't that kind of detract a little bit from the greatness? Think about it. There were a couple of plots against Alexander's life, not surprisingly, if he pulls stunts like that, which strongly suggest that not everyone thought he was great. His own royal servants were part of one of the plots. When asked who would be his designated successor should he die, Alexander said, "To the strongest one." Yeah, he was just a little bit high on himself, just a little bit. He ended up dying in Babylon at the age of 32. There are two accounts of Alexander's death. One, he developed a fever that got so bad he was unable to speak. And two, he drank a large bowl of unmixed wine. This was followed by 11 days of weakness and he had terrible pain. It has been proposed that he was poisoned. Again, Alexander the Great, but people are trying to kill him. They're trying to possibly poison him. He may have died from a disease like malaria or typhoid fever. His own health may have also been on the decline after many years of heavy drinking and also serious wounds. He reputedly had a pleasant odor, which is consistent with the belief in ancient Greece that pleasant odors indicate gods and heroes. Another little bit of irrelevant, nonsensical, who really cares trivia is he may have had one blue eye and one brown eye. His military drive supposedly stemmed from his need to outdo his daddy, Philip. He was also influenced by his mother, Olympia, who encouraged him to believe that it was his fate, it was his destiny to conquer the Persian Empire. Here's the thing. If somebody's telling you that you're like a god, then you're probably going to think you're freaking awesome. Anyway, he did believe himself to be a deity. A lot of these guys did. I think Caligula, all these guys. Anyway, his mother insisted that he was the son of Zeus. Yeah, it's thinking like that. It's parenting skills like that that are bound to guarantee a narcissist. So this guy, Alexander, he was so great that he was the boyhood hero of Pompeii. Some people nowadays, oh, Kiss, Gene Simmons, oh. No, back then it was Alexander the Great. Oh, I want to be like Alexander the Great. Oh, he was so awesome. Ooh, did he kick some serious Macedonian ass? Even Julius Caesar, when looking at a statue of Alexander the Great, he felt inadequate in that he realized he was at an age when Alexander had already accomplished so much and Julius Caesar, in comparison, accomplished so little. Julius Caesar's my hero. I can't believe that he had somebody that he felt inadequate next to. Crazy Caligula paid tribute to Alexander by wearing his breastplate while riding his horse across a floating bridge. Alexander is prominently featured in Greek folklore more so than any other ancient figure. He was married 3 times, but don't let that fool you. He had a very, very close relationship with his best buddy, general, and bodyguard, Hephaestion. Hephaestion was the son of a Macedonian noble. Alexander was extremely upset at the death of his friend, and it's possible that his death was one of the influences in Alexander's own failing mental and physical health prior to his own actual death. Here's a little bit more interesting trivia. The relationship between the two of them, it might have been just a little bit more than tennis buddies.